So Formula 1 is the pinnacle of the racing world, and GT3 is the pinnacle in the sim racing world. What would happen if the two worlds collided together and they were both put on one racetrack? Well, that's what we're about to find out today. So after watching the Hungarian Grand Prix and seeing Max Verstappen win for the 10th time this season, I decided to flip on some GT3 racing, and I thought to myself, you know what would happen if we put an F1 car against a whole field of GT3 cars? Would it be as dominant as Max Verstappen is currently in this 2023 season, or would I actually have issues trying to get around a field of GT3 cars in a track in just 5 laps? Well, today we're actually gonna figure that out. Now, when coming up with this idea, I know pretty sure you guys are all thinking to yourselves, well, of course an F1 car is gonna easily just beat a GT3 car, as it's almost about 10-20 seconds faster on majority of the tracks compared to a GT3 car. But again, we are not talking about just one-on-one comparison. We are talking about a field of GT3 cars against one F1 car. Not only that, we're going to make it a bit more challenging, and we're actually going to put that F1 car in the rear against 40 GT3 cars. Now, when doing this challenge, we came across a couple of issues. One of them being, of course, the GT3 cars are massively larger than an F1 car. But not only that, it can take up a lot more damage. As we see with GT3 racing, these cars can beat and bang against each other almost like a NASCAR. And with that being said, if you just even look at an F1 car, I swear the front wing will just automatically fall off. So those are some of the challenges that it poses when it came down to racing with the F1 car against the GT3 cars. So anyways, let's jump into this challenge. So here we are, guys, in the Mercedes F1. Now, it came to my realization that I actually never drove this car. So this is actually my first time really taking this car on the track and just seeing what this car was made of. You can see already we are having so much issue with just getting the car under control. I was not used to the braking, because when racing on iRacing, I'm just used to driving the GT3 cars, that when I got into this Formula 1 car and just had so much more grip and a lot stronger of brake power, it just was foreign to me. So I had a lot of time here on the practice laps, or on the, I guess, on practice session, to get up to speed with the car, because I didn't want to be, you know, wrecking every single time we got into a hard braking zone or just into a difficult corner with some of the GT3 cars. So it took me a couple of laps to get used to this car, and I just realized immediately how much grip this car had compared to the GT3, and how out of focus I was with going into the corners. So it was actually really interesting, because I was not really, I guess, used to just having to focus really hard on some of these corners, because they just come at you so much more quicker than driving the GT3 cars. That was almost a little bit jarring, because I felt like everything just came so much quicker that I didn't have enough time to react, and sometimes it caused me to either turn in too early or just turn in too late. So it took me about 4 to 5 laps to just get used to the actual speed of the Formula 1 car. But once I started getting used to it, I started playing around with the brake pressure on some of the corners, so that I didn't end up locking the wheels. You can see right there already I'm still having issues with locking the wheels. But I believe this is like our 6th attempt here, or 6th lap here, and I was finally getting up to speed. I was actually able to put in some of my fastest lap times here towards the end of the practice session. You can see we're about half a second already faster than our fastest lap time. And so we just continued on, and things just started getting a bit easier. And as you see here, through the middle part of the lap, we had already knocked it down to 1 second, a little over 1 second from our fastest lap. And this is where I started feeling a lot more comfortable in just pushing the car to the limits, and absolutely just abusing the track limits as well. So at this point, I felt very comfortable at that I can get into the actual challenge of racing against those GT3 cars. Now that I had about 15-20 minutes under my belt with this car. And I just wanted to do maybe a couple more laps, see if I can continue pushing the car, see if I can find any more pace, an extra 10th or 2. As you see, we've run our fastest lap there, but unfortunately we just pushed it a bit too hard, and this was the result. Well, I guess that's enough practice. So after observing what happened during the crash, I realized that I just went too aggressively onto the curb, and that was basically the reason why I crashed. As you see my thinking face in full action. All right, guys, so we are here on iRacing. As you can see, we have a full field of GT3 cars, and we are going to be in a measly small F1 Mercedes W13 car, and we're going to see how well we can challenge this full entire field of GT3 cars and see if we can even survive getting around them without making any type of contact. Because again, if we make a little bit of contact with one of these GT3 cars, that can literally just be the end of the race for us. So 5 laps to get around a field full of Ferraris, Mercedes, Porsches, all kinds of cars. We'll see how we do. So after all the practice of driving the Mercedes F1 car has come down to this, and this was our very first attempt. Now, I didn't realize there was going to be so many different issues with trying to get around all these GT3 cars. Now, the F1 was super fast down the straight and really great on the acceleration, but we ran across so many issues like this one right here, as well as hitting the barrier, and issues like this as well, where we just came behind a pack full of GT3 cars, just blocking the entire road, having nowhere to go. As you can see, as we try to go into the inside of Brussels, it goes into a 3 wide situation, making contact with the Ferrari. And not only that, we had issues with the AI where they were just immediately turn in for their racing line, not having any regards to where we were at behind them, and almost causing a crash. All right, so we are here, guys, back on the grid. This is our, I believe, 4th attempt, because every single time I just run into the issue of just crashing into some of these GT3 cars. And it's honestly a lot more challenging than I was anticipating, because you just get so close to some of these guys and they make some sporadic movements that you just have to avoid. If not, your car is basically totaled. So what we're gonna end up doing here, because I kept catching up to them really quickly, is I'm gonna wait for them to get about a 10-15 second head start. As you can see, they're already on their way, and then we're gonna get going. So we'll do it once it starts turning green. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's pull off. So we're probably not gonna see the GT3 cars until, oh jeez, I'm already getting a wheel spin. But we're probably not going to see the GT3 cars until we get to about lap number 2, or probably the end of lap number 1. Actually, never mind. We're going to see the GT3 cars a lot sooner than what I was anticipating. That's one thing I just still have not gotten used to with the Formula 1 car, is the rears just want to spin out every single time I get onto the power. But all right, up on Rouge and Radion. We'll see if we can catch up to these GT3 cars. Actually, we're going to get up to them a lot sooner than I was anticipating. And there we go. What is that car up ahead? It's a Porsche. Oh, and there we go. We got right in front of us. Gonna try to shift it onto the outside. Oh my goodness. Gonna shift onto the inside this time. Inside the Ferrari. Now you guys want some Merc versus Ferrari racing? And here we go. We're giving it to you guys. I'm kind of just stuck here. I really have nowhere to go. I can't. I gotta basically ride at the same pace of these GT3 cars, because I really have nowhere to go unless I want to go across the track limits. Oh, I was thinking about going out there. There we go. Get a nice juicy straight, send onto the inside of 2 cars. On the outside right now with 4 GT. We get the move done. Shift onto the inside. 2 more. Oh, and a little bit of contact up ahead. I gotta be careful about that, because these guys are set to very aggressive. So there might be some contact up ahead. I'm already, I think, halfway through the field at the end here of lap number 1. So we're making some good inroads. I'm just trying to figure out locations to try to go for overtakes without crashing out, like we've done so many times in previous attempts. All right, here we go. Looking like the Red Bulls here at Hungary. I think a few overtakes going into the source. There you go. This is where the F1 car just does its thing. It's on the acceleration. Of course, through the corners it's a lot quicker than the GT3 cars. But the only thing is that through the corners we have only one racing line, and it's very difficult to try to go on the outside and not use the racing line. But here we go. We get a nice straight here. We should be able to overtake these 2. See if we can get around the McLaren. Oh, got a little bit of wheel spin. Oh, almost touched the grass there. Still struggling a little bit with the braking on this car, because if you get onto the brakes too aggressively, the rears just want to spin out on you. All right, we'll back it out here, going into pool 1. Oh my goodness, I have nowhere to go. Oh no! Oh my gosh! Porsche almost came down on us, but I mean, at the same time, we had no right to put our nose in there, but we need to be aggressive here. All right, already into the top 10. It's only been 2 laps. You know what? This we might have to change the challenge to only 1 lap. See if we can make an overtake on all these in 1 lap. I'd have to be super aggressive. Oh, yeah. We got a hit. Oh, we got a 10-second penalty. All right. So look at that, already in first place. So yeah, we might have to redo this challenge. Spin it out real fast here. We basically beat these guys. So yeah, we basically got to run all the GT3 cars in about 2 laps. So you know what? I'm going to change the settings a little bit, and we're going to try to see if we can get around these GT3s in just 1 lap. So let's get on to it. All right, guys, so we're here back on the grid, and this time we're just going to attempt to overtake every single GT3 cars, the field full of, I believe, 40 GT3 cars, all in 1 lap, and we'll see if we can get this all done. So we're gonna have to be super aggressive, but not only that, be very smart on the decisions that we make, because one single mistake and easily we're gonna be into the barrier and losing a tire. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna put the battery to attack mode, and so we are just going to basically put in a qualifier lap into this race. So we will see if we can try to get this challenge done in just 1 lap. So already green flag, let's get it. Already on our way down to the straight into the source. He's very aggressive. Oh, on the brakes. Oh no, we already crashed. All right, here we go, guys. Second attempt, since we accidentally killed someone going into the source the first attempt that we did this. So all right, we should be able to get around all these guys, no problem, in 1 lap. I think I could do this. All right, let's try this again here now as we are getting the field rolling. So I'm going to make sure that I keep it on 2nd gear coming out of the bus stop chicane so that we don't get any wheel spin here. Got to warm up the tires here before we get the green flag. All right, green flag once again. Still getting wheel spin bits. All right. Make sure we spot our braking point this time. A little bit of a little bit of brake locking, but we're all right. Getting back onto the power. We're gonna go onto the outside. Immediately overtaking a bunch of these guys. Shifting our way into Eau Rouge. Ooh, gotta get on the brakes. All right, here we go once again. Gonna shift to the inside on the grass. Pulling an Alex Albon, going down the Camel Straight. Gonna go onto the outside here into Le Comps. Oh, I had to jump on the brakes here. Oh, almost ran into the back of the GT. All right, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see if we can go around Brussels here. Oh no, I can't have these guys going side by side. Oh, it's a no name. All right, I think we already cracked the top 10, so we're doing all right now. Can we go into Pouan? I think we can let up just a bit because I can see the leader. Whoa. The Mercedes kind of put me in a weird spot here. Whoa, it's going to make contact with the Lamborghini. Come on. I think right now we're all right. I think by the time we get into the Blanchimont, we should be able to catch up to the leader. Get down to the inside. All right, here we go. Oh. Yeah, he's not giving me any time to breathe here. We're going to go into the outside of the Porsche. Can we make the move before Blanchimont? No, we can't. But we are going to do it before the bus stop chicane. And we are just going to cruise our way down to the line. And just for celebratory reason, we'll do 1 more lap. So we'll try to see how far we can gap the GT3 cars. But basically, we... Actually, never mind. Never mind, we'll just continue. We'll just stop it there. We did it all in 1 lap, guys. All right, so there you go, guys. That is the difference between what happens when you have one F1 car against a field of GT3 cars. It honestly blows my mind how much faster this F1 car is compared to the GT3 cars. I'm so used to driving the GT3 cars that I feel like these are just ridiculously quick, especially to the corners and down the straights. But with just a hard transition to the F1 car, I feel like it is such a big difference with how much grip that the F1 cars has compared to the GT3 cars. And you can just easily see right here that one one F1 car was just demolish a field of GT3 cars in just one lap. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys thought about this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, help us out on the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to catch more content, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell, you know, all those YouTuber stuff. And I really appreciate all you guys watching this video until the end. If you guys did, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And until next time, guys, peace.